The park stretched wide under the warm afternoon sun, its paths winding between tall oaks and scattered picnic tables where laughter floated lazily through the breeze. Children darted across the grass in bursts of joy, chasing bubbles, tugging at balloons. Somewhere nearby, a distant speaker crackled with cheerful music. But in a quiet corner, tucked beneath the shade of an old elm, a man sat alone on a bench. His sleeves rolled, tie loosened, sunglasses shielding his eyes from the light. The world moved around him, but he was still unmoved by the swirl of color and sound. He barely noticed a small footsteps approaching until they stopped right in front of him. He looked up. A little girl stood there, no more than 3 years old. Blonde curls framed her round face, her dress slightly rumpled, tiny shoes dusted with grass. She stared at him with eyes far too serious for someone so small. "Sir," she said quietly, "please pretend you're my dad just for today." He blinked, taken aback. "What?" he asked, almost laughing. But she did not smile. Instead, she reached into her little purse and pulled out a worn, crinkled photograph. Her fingers, small and careful, held it up to him like something precious. He took it and froze. In the picture, he saw a younger version of himself smiling awkwardly beside a young blonde woman, one arm around her shoulders, and between them was a baby. But the baby's picture was crooked, clearly cut from another photo and pasted with yellowing tape. Child's wish. His heart stopped. He looked from the photo to the little girl. The same curls, the same eyes. She pointed to the photo. "That's Mommy," she whispered. "That's me when I was a baby." He cannot speak. "You were in the picture," she said. "So maybe you could be in real life too." Emily stood at the kitchen counter, apron stained with flour and old coffee. The morning light crept through the blinds, landing on a stack of unpaid bills and a lunchbox waiting to be filled. She moved mechanically. Peanut butter on one slice of bread, jelly on the other. Her long golden hair was tied up in a messy bun, a few strands sticking to her forehead from the heat. Tiredness clung to her shoulders, but her hands were steady, focused. Behind her, Lisa sat cross-legged on the floor, coloring with broken crayons, humming to herself. The apartment was small, the kind of small that whispered every sound. Cough, a sigh, a secret. On the table lay a crumpled envelope. Emily glanced at it again. "Family Day. You're invited." Bright colors, smiley faces, 3 stick figures holding hands. Mom, Dad, Child. She folded the flyer in half, then again until it vanished into her palm. Lisa looked up. "Mommy, what's that?" "Nothing, baby. Just school stuff." Lisa tilted her head. "Are we going?" Emily hesitated. "Do you want to?" Lisa nodded. "Will Daddy come too?" Emily's breath caught. She turned back the sandwich, pressing it shut a little too hard. "Mommy." Emily forced a gentle tone. "Sweetheart, Daddy is not coming." Lisa's brow furrowed. "But he's in my picture." Emily closed a lunchbox slowly. "That's just a picture you may remember. But he looks real." Emily crouched down, brushed a curl from her daughter's cheek. "He was someone kind of long time ago, but it's just you and me now, and that is more than enough." Lisa looked down at her drawing, fingers tracing the smiling face of a man in a suit she had carefully taped between her and her mother. "Do you think he would come if he knew?" she asked. Emily paused. "I think he would be proud of you wherever he is." That night after work, Emily came home sore and smelling of fries. But Lisa was already asleep, her tiny arms wrapped around the same photo she carried everywhere, the one she had carefully assembled with glue and hope. Emily sat beside her on the bed, staring at the photo. She remembered when that picture was taken years ago, a different lifetime. She gently pulled a blanket over Lisa's shoulders and whispered, "Maybe tomorrow will be good." The next morning, Emily ironed Lisa's pink dress and tied her hair into soft braids. Lisa giggled as she practiced her hello in the mirror. "Do I sound nice enough for other mommies and daddies?" "You sound perfect," Emily said. But deep down she dreaded the day. Family Day was a world built for whole families. A world where pretending might be the only way her child could feel like everyone else. At the event, children rushed to their parents, linking hands with the three-person family relay. Lisa's eyes scanned the crowd. 2 hands. She needed 2. She whispered, "I'll go to the bathroom." Instead, she wanted a quiet part of the park where the grass wasn't trampled and no one was shouting. She sat on a bench, pulled out the tape photo and stared. And then she saw him, a man a few steps away, sipping coffee slowly as if he had nowhere important to be. She froze. The man in her picture, older, more tired, but him, her heart thudded. She walked toward him and said the words that would change all of their lives. "Sir, please pretend you're my dad." Logan Bennett was used to being approached by strangers, but never like this. He was 30 years old, heir to a billion-dollar empire, polished, untouchable. People usually came to him with contracts, deals, flattery, not with fragile voices asking for pretend fathers. At first he chuckled, but when she showed him the photo, his world cracked. He remembered Emily. He was 23 when he met her at the campus cafe. She wore a faded name tag, Emily, and hummed songs only she seemed to know. She was strong, kind, stubbornly hopeful. They fell in love. But when his family pushed him into an international program, he left. He promised to come back. But he never did. Too busy, too afraid. Now 5 years later, a child with Emily's eyes stood before him. And he realized he hadn't just left Emily. He had left her. "Lisa," the voice cut through his thoughts. "Emily," she ran across the grass, braid bouncing, eyes wide with shock. She stopped when she saw him. For a moment time froze. "Emily," Logan whispered. Her lips trembled, but her arms wrapped around Lisa. "Come here, sweetheart." Lisa looked at Logan once more, then obeyed. Emily nodded to him once, silent, and walked away. Logan stood frozen, the photo still in his hand. For the first time in his powerful life, he felt utterly powerless. He found them near the parking lot. "Emily," he said, voice low. "Is she mine?" Emily's spine stiffened. "You already know the answer. You should have told me." "Tried," she said. "I wrote letters. Called. You changed your number. You disappeared. Had no idea." "I expected nothing," she said firmly. "Not money, not help, not even your presence. I thought I could either beg for scraps from someone who had already chosen to leave or raise her with love and dignity on my own." Her words struck him harder than any boardroom defeat ever had. "I can't do this," Logan muttered. Emily nodded, tears brimming. She turned away, holding Lisa's hand, and left him standing there broken. That night, rain slammed the city. Emily rushed through the storm with Lisa burning with fever in her arms. Her umbrella had broken. Her shoes were soaked. The urgent care clinic was 6 blocks away. "Hold on, baby," she whispered. Headlights. Black SUV stopped. Logan stepped out with an umbrella. "Get in," she hesitated. Then Lisa coughed and she moved at the clinic. The nurse said it was just a viral fever. Emily exhaled. Logan stood silently beside her, dripping wet, guilt etched across his face. "I didn't know," he said softly. "I didn't even know she existed." "That's no excuse, but it's the truth. Let me start now." Emily looked at him. He wasn't a billionaire in that moment. Just a man begging for one more chance. The next morning, Logan showed up at Lisa's school. Emily expected him to leave after a wave, but instead he asked, "May I take her home today?" "Only if you're okay with it." Lisa's eyes sparkled. "Can I, Mommy?" Emily hesitated, then nodded. From then on, he came every morning. He learned to braid hair from YouTube, sat cross-legged during story time, painted crooked dinosaurs on art day, learned the names of every stuffed animal. One evening, he showed up with paint can hands. "What are you doing?" Emily asked. "Fixing your ceiling and the faucet. And maybe I bought Lisa a desk that doesn't wobble like a baby giraffe." Emily tried to object, but he grinned. "Let me do this." Day by day, he stopped being a man in the photo. He started becoming real. 2 weeks later, Logan organized a new family day at a smaller park. Games, balloons, music. But this time no child was left out. Lisa ran 3-legged races with him, squealing with laughter as he fell on purpose. At the end, Children walk with their families across the field. Lisa walked between Emily and Logan, holding their hands. Halfway through she stopped, turned the crowd and shouted, "This is my real family." The applause rose like thunder. Emily hugged her daughter. Logan wrapped his arms around them both. It was no longer pretend. 1 year later, a chalkboard sign outside a corner shop read, "Lisa's Light Bakery." Inside, sunlight spilled through windows on a cupcake line like jewels. Emily worked gracefully behind the counter, apron dusted with flour. The bell chimed. Logan walked in holding sunflowers in a glittery gift bag. "She's already asking where you are," Emily teased. "Traffic," he replied. "And balloons. Never underestimate helium." He kissed her cheeks softly and slipped outside. In the backyard, paper lanterns glowed. Children played. A unicorn piñata swayed. And in the middle, Lisa wore a golden crown of felt and glitter. "Daddy," she called. Logan crouched beside her, lifting the gift bag. "Am I too late for presents?" She giggled. "Only if you don't dance later." Emily brushed frosting from Lisa's cheek, catching Logan's eyes in a quiet smile. The candles were lit. Lisa squeezed her eyes shut, wished with everything she had, and blew them out in one breath. As twilight painted the sky, Logan scooped her into his arms. She yawned, resting against his shoulder. And he remembered the very first day she had looked at him and said, "Sir, please pretend you're my dad." Now he was not pretend. Not anymore. Portable speakers, gift baskets.